Running faster is hard, but that's coming from someone who shaved 30 minutes off their half marathon time with zero to no athletic background. When I first started running, I thought that the only way to get better was by pushing myself harder and harder. But what if I told you that there's a way to make getting faster a whole lot easier? What if pacing your race only requires a few practical tools that you can start incorporating immediately? In today's video, I'll share 5 helpful tools that are helping me go from a 2:08 half marathon to hopefully sub 140. If you stick to the end, I'm going to share my exact pacing plan for my upcoming half. If you're new here, hi, I'm Gabby. I started running in 2022 with zero background, but here I am. I've gotten first place in multiple 10Ks and first place in a half marathon. I post weekly vlogs on top of educational videos, so if that sounds like something that's interesting to you, make sure you follow along. Anyway, you probably want to know what I did to get better at running, so let's jump right in. Tool 1, chunking the race. Our brain can only process so much at once. Sports psychologists call this cognitive load management. All we're doing here is breaking a big task into small, achievable ones. Personally, instead of thinking 13.1 miles, I think of 5K, 10K, 5K. And I will use this chunking strategy in all of my running. Even if I'm doing speed training, I will look at an object and I will run towards it, making that object be my current goal location. When you focus on everything that you've got for the day, it can feel really overwhelming. And I've noticed that when I make it into small fragments, first, the run goes by a lot faster and I love it. And second, it kind of feels like a treat, right? Because when you're in the work portion of your training, you know that that's only going to last X amount of time. It feels so much more manageable than thinking, "Gah, I have to run 8 miles today." You can literally look through all of my runs this training block and I've gaslit my way through all of them. My current favorite was when I did just a 5K, so basically 3 miles at race pace, 1 mile rest. And after every single rest that I gave myself, I felt really solid going into my next 5K. The easiest way to apply chunking in your actual race is by focusing on the next water station. Focus on how you're breathing, your legs, how you feel up until the next water station. Allow yourself a full break, drink that water, and then get to the next one. Tool number 2, negative splits. Start controlled and finish strong. It might feel really discouraging to have a bunch of people passing by you at the start of the race, but trust me when I tell you that most people who sprint the start are going to tank at the end, okay? There have been so many races where I give it all out. A perfect example would be my first full marathon, where I started at race pace. I really wanted to sub 4 hours. The goal of the goals, I held on to that pace until mile 13. You can very clearly see how everything started to go downhill from there because I did not pace myself. I got really excited. I did not follow my training how I should have. Quite frankly, I did not investigate the course enough to know that there were going to be way more hills than I had trained for. I started questioning everything that I did leading up to the race, and really the biggest downfall was starting too quickly. Mind you, by no means am I an expert here, but what I like to do is make sure that the first 3 miles feel easy. Then, depending on the length of the race, I start to dial into goal pace. By the middle, or as soon as I have less than 5K to go, I start to give myself permission to empty the tank. The first time I subbed 150, runners were flying past me in the beginning, which hurt my ego. But there was this one girl I kept my eye on because she was in a regular bra, which respect, but also I took that as a challenge. By mile 9, I can safely say that I passed everyone that had passed me in the start. And yes, that may or may not include my race arch nemesis that I selected for the day. Just because I didn't do any sports growing up does not mean that I'm competitive. Ask anyone that I play games with, like board games with. I get pretty angry. That might be something that helps me towards the end of a race, but it's also something that I've had to control and dial down at the start of a race because I've learned to actually trust the training. If you're training for a half marathon, a 10K, a full marathon, anything, I guarantee you've been putting in the miles, you've been putting in the work, and come race day, you should trust everything that you've put into that day. Tool 3, effort-based thinking. Instead of staring at your watch, your heart rate and perceived effort are a lot better indicators. This is especially true in heat, humidity, or hills. You can quite literally ask anyone that I train with. Whenever I'm starting a run and they ask me, "What pace are you shooting for today? How fast are you going today?" I tell them that I'm basing it off of vibes, and vibes alone. Because in Miami, the humidity lately has been in 90%, which means I don't want to set myself up for failure or set myself up for disappointment by saying, "Hey, I'm going to be shooting for race pace," and then I look at my watch and I end up going 20 seconds slower. I would much rather base it on vibes. I'm still going to try, but knowing that I'm basing it off effort is way nicer on my ego. Naturally, in the back of my head, I am hopeful for my race pace, but I also know that when there's a hill, when the weather is not on my favor. 20 to 40 seconds slower than my goal pace is technically still my goal pace. I remember last year around this time I was training for a half marathon. Actually, I was training to be able to sub 150 for the first time. And the weekend before my race, I went on an easy run with my partner. I fully started crying. I had a little bit of a breakdown because I was doing maybe a 10:30 pace and it felt hard. My taper week had not started yet, meaning my legs were really heavy from all of the mileage leading up to race day. Looking back, I probably didn't get a good night's rest. We were running at 10 a.m. in Miami, which is basically the middle of the day. Although that could have potentially really affected me on race day, somehow come race day, I felt amazing. It just goes to show that how you feel the week before sometimes is not even a reflection of how you're going to perform on the actual race day. Tool 4, mental landmarks and mantras. Studies show that self-talk reduces perception of effort. Your brain is able to give you literal cues to keep going. Anytime that I start to doubt myself, I set mini finish lines. Really similar to what I had mentioned before with chunking, but now I want you to talk to yourself while you chunk. If you're watching this and you're starting to think that maybe I'm a little bit woo-woo, I think that being woo-woo is what's helped me get this far in such a short amount of time. In the moments that you are not feeling great, I want you to remind yourself that, one, it's not that deep, okay? Really important. If you're watching this, it's probably because you're not a professional and no one is paying you to do this. We're supposed to be doing this for fun, right? And yes, it is fun to set goals and achieve them, but it is also fun for you to continue enjoying running, right? Not just punishing yourself if you don't accomplish what you're trying to do. So within that, I want you to set very realistic and easy goals within your run. I'm gonna go speedy up until that water fountain, whether it's I'm so proud of myself for even getting up today. Like 1 year ago, I wouldn't have even ran for 10 minutes and here I am running for 20. I want you to remind yourself in those instances, those mental cues, which one, will distract you from the current run that you're in, probably help you get to your destination faster. And two, remind yourself that this is supposed to be a good experience. Finally, tool number 5, visualization and pre-race planning. My favorite, and let me grab it. Guys, this is my junk journal, and this is part of the reason why I think I'm getting better at the things I want to be getting better at. We love her. You may not know this about me, but I am a pro manifester. Oh my God. That race actually sucked. The one that I just showed you. It was awful. We love. This is actually a letter that my partner wrote me before the half marathon that I keep referencing. I really like to use journaling activities to accomplish my goals. And before you think I'm weird, most of your favorite athletes are already doing this. Most athletes who visualize their performance before the actual sports match or whatever it may be have said that they feel more prepared and less stressed during the actual battle. So before race day, I quite literally rehearse and review the warm-up miles, the setting miles, and the push towards the end. And on race day, when these thoughts creep up, it feels so much less scary, but that's when I only have a 5K left. Really quickly, for the few people that stuck around, hopefully a few of you are still here, I'm sharing how I plan to run my next race. My goal is to do sub 145, 140, around there. I know that the goal pace that I'm going for needs to be like a 7:55 mile. Starting at a 7:55 mile sounds extremely scary to me, so the way that I've planned it in my head is to start the first 3 miles 8:15, 8:10 pace, which I know I can confidently do, especially if the weather allows it. The race that I'm doing is in DC and I've been training in Miami weather, so bear with me. The next portion is the 10K. 10K of work at goal pace. Knowing that I'm gonna wanna stop for water, knowing when I'm gonna be taking my fuel. If you want something that's in-depth for you, comment down below and I'm happy to make something for you. Then moving on, I'm gonna dial in to my 5K or 10K pace. My current 10K PR in hot, hilly Miami is a 7:35 pace. I can go faster than that. Low-key, me telling you this is basically me manifesting it for me. If you're curious to see if and when I accomplish it, be sure to check out my Getting Faster series, literally the whole training block. My current PR is a 1:47, guys, and that happened this past March. I would love to shave 7 minutes. Do I think I can do it? Yes, eventually. Maybe I'll be able to do it this time. We'll see. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget to hit the like, leave a comment, and I will chat with you later. Bye!